Welcome one and all to round number 2 of the RLH short series. We're here in Silverstone for the Silverstone short circuit, the British short circuit. We'll have a look around the track just before we get going, coming out of the phenomenal couple of corners, running along the newly named Hamilton straight, and I'm running down towards turn 1. Of course, this is exactly what it is in the normal track. Making our way now towards that first proper braking zone in the lap, and instead of turning right to go back onto the Wellington straight, you cut across to go over to the Hangar straight. Very easy corner here to invalidate. I think actually there I would have invalidated myself. We now run along the only DRS zone on the lap and down towards, of course, the famous Stowe corner. Again, the car tucked in nice, very high speed corner, second highest speed on the circuit, and of course down towards Vale and Club. Once we get the car around there, we'll go on board for a lap. Of course, running down towards Abbey and then through Farm Curve. Absolutely flat out. We see a lot of close racing, especially on lap 1 in this part. And then get down into the village. Big braking zone. We could see some potential carnage first couple of laps. Then we cut straight across. Don't turn left and go onto basically what is the exit of Chapel. Very easy to invalidate there. I think I would have actually got 2 warnings if you watch the screen there. A little bit too eager cutting the corners, I think. And then running up towards Stowe. Probably the best overtaking spot on the track. Only DRS zone. It is going to be really difficult to overtake, and I think we're going to see that today. Strategy could play a big part in how the race turns out. Nevertheless, we will get going.
Welcome to Silverstone, home of the British Grand Prix. This iconic track held the very first World Championship Formula One race back in 1950, and it's a firm favourite amongst the fans and drivers alike.
And as we can see, we're just waiting for the last of the drivers to ready up, and we're on the lap. It looks a little bit dark at the moment as we get going for this formation up. Composite on pole position is actually reversed championship order as things stand. Skipper in P2, Always Rick in 3rd, Asmith 4th, Russell 5th, Fifi 6th, Nika 7th, Bob Rossi 8th, Baker 9th, Kappa in P10, Billy Misu in 11th, 12th is Phil, and championship leader for actually the combined groups is Man Like Donkey. He's currently on 43 points, currently 10 points ahead of Phil. Double podium for Man Like Donkey, really helping him out there after a very strong race in Bahrain. Calais is P14, and these bottom 4 guys are yet to race in this short series. And then Jones, Gu, let's go Gu, and Enns rounds out the 13. But it's a very short formation lap. We're already round back onto the Hamilton straight. And this is going to be, I think, a really great race. Quick fire. Of course, we're going to have our break in between, and it's reverse grid of this race result. So the second race, another 25% race, so another 13 laps will come straight after this, and it will be a reverse grid of how everyone's finished. Of course, if you retire, you automatically start at the back. That's just how it works. We're just waiting for Enns to come around the final couple of corners. Very quick driver, so we'll see how he gets on starting down in P17. But we'll wait the lights now for the start of round number 2. We can't actually see the lights, but we should be slotting into positions of the cars jiggle about on the grid. We have got the lights here for the start of round number 2. We have 4, 5 red lights here at Silverstone, and it's lights out, and away we go. Who can get the best of the starts of the cars? Fan out now as they head down towards turn number 1. It looks like Composite is just going to nip ahead from Skipper. Always Rick in the battle as well. Almost 4 wide coming out there. 3 wide just behind. And it looks, oh, there's contact between the top 2. I think they've both managed to get away with it. There's cars skidding off in the background. That looks to be one of the orange cars. As the cars filter through turn 1 and 2, there's contact there between Always Rick, who's dropping down the order. I think Fifi managing to get past on that occasion. And Baker trying to find a way through. Billy Misu, and Baker's now battling away. Battles further back. I think Enns has had a problem. Bit of a spin for him. Russell going side by side with Skipper, and he gets ahead as they go down in towards turn number 1 on this lap. Who's making the most paces? Billy Misu ahead of Baker there. As those guys battle out, can he fight this one back? They're Baker can go down the inside, and everyone's getting really punchy on this open lap. Difference in tyres. We didn't have time to look at them on that previous lap. Who's getting the most positions though? Straight off the bat, it's Russell. He's up into 3rd already, but he's still under pressure from Skipper. They're wheel to wheel now as they go down through Farm Curve. Through Farm Curve now. The DRS is now enabled, but it shouldn't be. Penalties, and there's 3-1. There's a massive crash here. Massive crash. Going off as Russell. He skids across the track. I'm not sure who that was that was the victim of that, to be honest. But dropping down the order massively all of a sudden there. Unfortunately for the car, 3-1. It doesn't know. There's a safety car has been called out, and it's been a very hectic start to this race. We'll try and get the tyres up. That'd be probably a good thing to see. Complete mix. Of course, you can start whatever tyres you want. And what are guys starting to do? Phil, Kappa and Gu all in the pit lane. I think they came here before. Anyway, Composite is going to stay out. That's an interesting call on the soft tyres. Nika coming in. The Skipper's coming in. Fifi's coming in. We could have an absolute train coming into the pit lane. And I think Composite has made an error here, to be honest. He might get away with it. He might be able to come in that following lap and not lose out too much. We could see a problem here. Of course, you don't actually know who your teammate is. There's still only 10 teams racing in this one. But of course, you're all in multiplayer cars. You don't actually know who your teammate is. This could mess up a few drivers a little bit. We're going to the pit lane to see what people are deciding to do. Some penalties already there and thereabouts. I'm not sure who that car was that had the spin. It might have been Kappa who I was forced into the pit lane. It definitely was sort of a blue car. But I can't quite remember. It could have been Gu. Not too sure. And to be perfectly honest, Phil's going to hoping he can try and get ahead of many people as can. Of course, he's forced to stick with that Delta, I think, as things stand. See how many places Phil can gain. Of course, having to pit just before the safety car came out, he still could be a big winner here, to be honest, Phil. Moving on to the soft tyres. If he started the race on the mediums, well, I'm sure he would have. He does not have to pit again. The softs can go to the end now, and the safety car will guarantee we can do that. Speeding in the pit lane, the guys have to get a move on, to be honest. The safety car's, of course, only out for a set number of laps. And Composite is coming into pit lane at the end of this one, so can Nick get ahead? Who's the one sat behind the safety car? Gu can unlap himself, so that's good news for him. Of course, race leader into the pits. But it's been very hectic. Composite, it is a set of medium tyres. He's going to end now. I think the soft guys have the advantage. We'll see now if Nika can jump him. Nika could have absolutely pulled a blinder off here. Great work in the pit stops. He's already up 5 places. Brilliant stuff from Billy Misu as well. He's up 7. And I think there could be a change of race lead. No, I pressed the wrong button. Gu's got a drive through down in P17. It goes from bad to worse for him. And Composite is out in P2, so not all lost. He still holds on to a podium spot nonetheless, but not ideal, to be perfectly honest. You would imagine we're already 4 laps in. Safety car's in this lap, and the pack is not joined up yet. The guys need to get going. There's a gaggle of cars just now coming onto the hangar straight, led by Skipper. I think Phil's wanting to get a bit of a move on here. Nika backing up the pack. Maybe hoping that, well, maybe not too many cars join up the train. The safety car is into the pit lane, so he can get going when he decides to. And he's going to get going off this final corner. He's off and away, and we now move on to the start of lap number 5 along the Hamilton straight. There's a bit of a gap to some of the cars further behind. The top 3, top 4 actually have got a bit of a lead ahead of them. Billy Misu challenging always Rick now. Will he think about making... How does man like Donkey set the fastest lap? Flicking to the inside though goes Billy Misu. The gloves are off in this battle. They're still wheel to wheel now as they cut across and make the run onto the hangar straight. And he just about squeezes rival out there. Penalties could come into big play in this race. It's very easy to pick them up. Fifi not too far behind Kappa, but the battle between Always Rick and Billy Misu still going on as they run down towards Stoke. No moves this time around. Phil though looking to make his move down the inside, currently second in the championship, wanting to make as much sort of progress as he can to try and gain as many points. And Malik Donkey, Phil goes down the inside, and that's a decisive move from Phil. And he gets ahead of Skipper there. Gloves off, and Kappa manages to slide past Skipper too. So Walter Skipper losing 2 places in 1 corner there, but he's coming straight back at the blue car. No move down the inside, playing that one a bit sensibly. Can Fifi now find a way past Skipper? Bogorossi just having a little look in behind, wanting to try and get involved in this battle. Of course, these guys currently in the points as things stand. Just some changes further back as Enns gets ahead of Jones. These guys are going wheel to wheels. Yellow flag a little bit up the road. Doesn't look like anyone has gone off just yet. There's Asmith and Baker going wheel to wheel. Just coming out on top there is Baker. Borossi can't get past. Bit of a slipstream train running at the moment. It is very difficult to find a way past. Cam Borossi got a much better run through Stone. Now they're going wheel to wheel as they run down through Club and Bay on. Borossi goes round the outside. That's a very good move from the Dutch driver. Fastest laps are being constantly set. Billy Misu's got the pace at the moment. Will he flick to the inside through Abbey? Yes, he will. After doing the fast lap of the race, he gets the elbows out. He's past Composite, and he could be looking to charge onto this race lead. Phil has already managed to put a second to the car behind. Fifi, Bogorovsky getting very, very close. Bogorovsky's, after finding that way past Fifi around the outside, trying to find a way back past. Calais has made a move ahead of Russell. That was down at the first braking zone, of course, which is Village. And running out now onto Hangar Straight once again. DRS and overtake enabled for Russell, but I don't think he's going to find a way any way past just on this occasion. We're over half race distance. That's how quickly these ones go in the short races. Of course, this is the second shortest of the calendar. Silverstone, it's the race lap, sort of mid to high 40 seconds. But when we go to Japan later on this season, I mean, the lap time is in the 30s. It's absolutely crazy. Baker sets the fastest lap of the race. It's getting very competitive for that single point. Fifi can't quite get the legs on Bogorovsky this time around, and no move for him on this occasion. They've got definitely put pace. I think a few strategies in the works. Running wide there, and Fifi does pick a penalty for this. Malak Donkey now will be closing in on Fifi. Can he get close enough to make a move into the Stoke corner? They've both got DRS. Can the Malak Donkey send this one down the inside? He's got his nose in the door, bit of contact. He manages to hold the car just about as Bogorovsky picks up a 3-second time penalty. That could be quite important towards the end of this race as well. The gaps are very close as things stand. And as we move on, the battle for the final couple of points seems to be the most competitive at the moment. Composite has managed to stay within the second of Billy Misu, but of course has that 3-second time penalty to his name, which could mean he misses out on a podium, because always Rick is not too far behind. And we see now Bogorovsky, he's got a lot of ERS. We can see it on his steering wheel. Can he get a good enough exit and find a way past Skipper? This time around it's DRS for both of them, and that's the problem when you're a bit of a DRS train. You just can't get the overspeed on your opponent. You're relying on that good corner exit. Obviously runs a little bit wide. I think we'll pick up a warning for that manoeuvre, but that's the problem with this track. I think just the straight is not long enough, and you can't really find a way into turn 1, because it's pretty much single file from turn 1 and 2, and then as you get down to turn 3 it is quite hard to make a lunge, and then even with the DRS down the Hangar Straight, it's very very hard to pick your spot and make the move. Fifi again getting within 0.3 of a second, but it's just not enough to find a way past. Penalties really could be set up, deciding this one with Jones picking up a penalty, currently down in P16. Malak Donkey, yeah, championship leader, very clinical last time out in Bahrain, but not being able to get through the pack like the form guide would suggest. Composite's starting to really build a gap to always Rick. That's important for his race if he wants to hang on to that podium spot. It's getting very close, about 2.4 seconds. Baker's getting close to Russell. Now Russell does not have DRS, and Baker will be using it. And lovely slipstream as he runs down towards Abbey and Farm. Will be making a move into Village, and on board with Baker. Enters the fast lap of the race, currently P15. Of course, won't be picking up any points for it, but taking it away from other drivers. Other battles are there on track. It's really any at the moment. Oh, and a bit of a result to slow down. Baker tried to find a way through there. The door was just shut on him, and I don't think he's going to have the legs. He might have the legs, but of course Russell has DRS. Just about getting DRS off Calais. But Baker finding the speed to get past now, and he's going to move ahead into P12. And of course that's going to... Well, if you're outside the points, you sort of want to start as finish as low down as you possibly can. Malak Donkey goes around the outside of Fifi, and he has to concede their position there to the Austrian driver. And as we start, we're on the penultimate lap now of this race. It's come very thick and fast. At the end, guys, not separated by a lot. Fifi's really closing back on Malak Donkey. We'll look for a move down the inside. I think he's going to go for it. They're going to be wheel to wheel, bit of contact, bit of wheel banging, but somehow nobody spins in that one. Very lucky in there. The battle will carry on, and using all of the exit there is Fifi. They've both got penalties, so I think we'll be losing positions to the likes of Calais and Baker. And here comes Baker. Will he make a move on Calais? The gap almost under a tenth of a second, but then move into Stoke corner this time around. And we carry on to start the final lap of this race. Our race leader, Nika, well, since getting it at that safety car period, he has been off and away, very comfortable in this race, not really challenged from behind. Billy Misu looked to have a really fast and aggressive start to this one, but possibly not being able to close in that gap. Need to avoid a penalty now, but a couple of corners left to go for Necker. There are a few battles brewing further back in the order. As Calais lost the position. What's happened to Calais? What's happened to Calais? He's dropping down the order now. A bit of a spin for the Romanian driver, and he's going to lose positions, but that will, of course, give him a better qualifying position for the next race. But Necker will come around the final couple of corners. the driver currently somewhere in the championship. I can't work it out in a quick look, but he comes across the line. He takes all 25 points here at Silverstone. Billy Misu, P2. Composite will cross the line in third, but always Rick will actually get third. Phil comes across the line. He will take P4 as Composite loses out. And then Skipper 6th, Kappa 7th, Bogrosy 8th. Oh no, Kappa 7th, Baker 8th, Bogrosy 9th, 10th for Russell, 11th for Asmith, Fifi is in 12th, Enns is in 13th, Man Like Donkey losing out massively on penalties is 14th, Calais is 15th, and he crosses across the line very spectacularly, missing a wheel. One of the shots of the season, I must say. But we have got one more race to come. Of course, the reverse grid race. Phil gets driver of the day for gaining loads of positions. He started quite far down and getting P4 in the end. A good drive from Phil, and definitely a good result for his championship, I would say. I think with this one we couldn't really see any strategy ideas involved, as everyone pretty much pitted under the safety car. You'd be silly not to. Such a short race that you really want to take advantage of the safety car. But I'll just have a look. Nicker currently 14th on 12 points, so 25 points here will do wonders for his championship, catching some of the likes of Man Like Donkey, Phil, Billy Misu, and Kappa. And there we go. Here are the race results. A few penalties sprinkled here and there. And you see, just Man Like Donkey, the only one to get 6 seconds. I think Composite had 5 seconds, but just shows you how damaging it can be for your race. He did a very good job from 13th up to sort of around the battle for 8th and 9th, and it just really puts pay to your race. Great drives from Nicker up from 7th, Billy Misu as well, starting P11. Phil starting 12th up to 4th, 8 places gained. Kappa gaining a few as well. Some of the ones I can sort of clearly see, and yeah, I think the safety car sort of putting pay to some guys' strategies, and also allowing others to really gain out from that. Good start on pole from Jones, from Calais, and then from Man Like Donkey, and ends. That's the top 5 we have coming up. We will go back to the lovely sort of video instead of watching the loading screens. It will take a bit of time to swap between them. We'll have a look. We'll have a talk about some of the key points coming up in the following race. We have a look at the Silverstone short track once again. And yeah, I think it's a really important lap to really try and hook it up, get it right. And coming off that final corner onto the Hamilton straight, you do need to be aware of the car behind, because it's not an obvious overtaking spot to turn on, but you can just get that slipstream all the way, and then as you run up and down into Village, that's probably the second best overtaking spot on the track. Heavy braking zone. We saw a few guys go for the move there on that lap, and I think this is also probably the section as you go onto the hangar straight we just watched there. That's the point where you need to be careful for penalties. You need to keep within the track limits, because it does cost drivers. Even just picking up one in the next race can really hamper your position. And then through Stoke, again, needs to be careful on that exit down in towards Club and Vale. Again, the battle can carry on from Stoke, so you need to be wary down into that chicane. And then you carry on the lap once again, flat out. Even if race trim, even if flat out free. Abbey down into the heavy braking zone. And now I think you can take this flat out as well. It's a little king. You can't do what I did in here. Cut it a little bit. I think that probably will get you a warning. So I think that would as well. It's very, very tight on the exit as well. There's obviously no line for part of it. Just sort of imagine that and try and be best behaved as you can. I threw Stowe. I didn't drop in a 5th gear that time. I'm definitely racing. I was always dip it down to 5th for a little moment. A little smash at the top of the rev limiter. Nice clean line with this final chicane. Trying to avoid the big red curve. You don't want to unsettle the car too much. And, using those curves if you want to. And we're going to watch it again because we're not quite ready up. So what can we expect from this race? I think we could see some of the big names, some of the names that you'd big because of their form, because of what tiers they were in last season. You'd expect them to maybe have a charge for the field. I'm expecting Man Like Donkey to have a good race. Of course, current championship leader, he's starting high up the grid because of his penalty. I think he's going to be 4th or 5th on the grid. Interesting some of the new guys do. I've not seen some of these guys race at all, and I think this is probably some of their debuts. I'm thinking like of Goo, Jones. They're starting at the front of the grid this time around because of a bit of misfortune in the previous race. It'll be interesting how they get on coming up. But of course, we've got some of the favourites in the middle as well. Some of the big RLH names, likes of Bog, Phil's quite far down, I think. Yes, started P4, so near the back of the grids. Interesting how he gets on. Had good progress in that last race. Was getting driver of the day. But yeah, some really big names at RLH. A lot of C6 guys. Great to see them racing. Just commentating on a lot of their races this season. Last season, season 7. But yeah. Of course, there's the constructor battle as well. Each of the drivers in this one, this Group 2, are paired up with a driver from Group 1. So, when it comes to the end of the day, you can't really have an effect on this thing. It's quite shortly, you know, you're not sure you're sharing a garage with the team. And as things stand, the Army Racing are dominating the championship. Of course, that's with Black Mamba man like Donkey, Black Mamba 7th overall. He got the win in the effective sprint race, if you like, last time out in Group 1. That was actually, as things stand, just one commentator for the F1 2020 short series we're doing. So I'll be alternating each week. So yeah, last week was Group 1, this week's Group 2, and then probably next week Group 1, and then the final round, Group 2. There's only 4 races, only 4 short tracks on F1 2020. But it's actually one of my favourite laps. I don't know why, because you know, you miss out Cox, you miss out Knights and Beckett. Some really iconic and great corners. They do feel great to drive on the game. But I don't know, I like it. I like the little jing across the track. You know, it's who can make up the most time in the section the car's going through now. You know, if you can take that flat out, get the car lined up on the outside and get a really good run on Hangar Straight, you can gain a lot of time. And of course, gain a lot of time into the best overtaking spot on the track as well. Down into Stoke. And this final part of the lap is where I watched the British Grand Prix last year. I went to Silverstone 2019 Grand Prix. And surprisingly, actually, a lot of things happen there. You wouldn't think it's sort of after a big high-speed corner. You wouldn't think a lot of overtaking happens there, but it's actually a great one for overtaking. Taking the F2 and F3, the battle readers carry on. We saw that actually in F1 as well, with Verstappen and Leclerc going hammer and tong through Vale and Club after they all go to so hopefully we can see a little bit more racing. I think the car's just stuck in a bit of a slipstream train in that one. I'm hoping we don't get a safety car, so we can really see some of the strategy unfold. Whether some guys can hit really early, because the fast softs can actually do pretty much whole race distance. So that'll be really interesting to see how they go on with that and what people decide to do. And maybe we're starting further back, we'll try a massive undercut, something like that. If you're near the front, maybe a massive overcut, you know. It can work both ways, 100%. We're just getting ready to go. Will not be too long. Waiting for a few people to load up. And the guys will need to make sure they set their setup once again. Reset strategy. We'll see what tyres people are starting on this time around. Hopefully we can actually pay a little bit more attention. And try and go through that when we go through the grid on the formation lap. Because it's a short formation lap as well. It's only about sort of a minute long formation lap, where it's normally about 2. But I think it's one of those ones where, one of these sort of racing where you'd much rather have sort of a time trial set up on. It's all about speed. You don't have to worry about the tyres too much. Unlike Japan in a couple of weeks' time, the tyres overheat so much. I did a practice race there, just to see what it's like for commentary a week ago. Just the tyres at Japan are constantly overheating. You literally do one lap, the tyres are in the red, about 120 degrees, which is 20 degrees more than one as a maximum, to be honest. I think that's going to be a really, really difficult race. We could see some drivers maybe trying something different with setup, trying something different with strategy as well, maybe opting for a set of halves or something that maybe don't overheat as much. I really don't know. I'm really looking forward to that. But we are going to go onto the grid, have a look at the formation lap and what tyres people are on. If I make sure I put the right one on. It's softs for Gu, Jones, mediums for Clay, Malalaki on the softs, Ends on the softs, Beefy and Asmith on the mediums, Russell and Bogrovsky on the softs, Baker mediums, Kappa, Skipper, Composite on the mediums, and then Phil, Oisrick, Billy Misu and Nika are on the mediums too. Not a lot of pace difference I notice as well. A lot of pretty much everyone at a similar pace. And of course, only having 2 tiers, you can have that big spread of pace within each tier as well. But yeah, I've not really seen that today. I think that's a good thing about the short track. There's not a lot. Oh, what's happened there? Billy Misu. No, no, no. Billy Misu. Lurch 2020. No. Billy Misu. That's got to be one of my favourite quotes of all time. As Nicker goes, Nicker thinks I can't be asked with this one. He goes straight for him. Now there's goose slots into his grid position. Then Jones, then Calais. That makes up our top three. I'm just waiting for the final two to sort themselves out and get onto grid. We'll get racing for race number 2 here at Silverstone. We'll see how aggressive people decide to be down in towards turn number 1. As the cars jiggle about, we're going to get going very, very soon. And we get a nice spot to watch the race. It's 3, it's 4, it's 5. Red lights here at Silverstone. And they're held for an absolute age, but it's lights out and away we go. Who can get the best of the start? Everyone dying to the left already. And what's happened there? That was a swipe and a half from somebody. The red car manages to get back in a position. I think that might have been Malak Donkey. Or maybe Baker, not sure. Maybe is that a move down the inside from Jones into turn 1. He looks like he's made it stick actually. Sort of turn 2, turn 3. Cars file in to position. We're pretty much too wide. There's a car that's gone off there. I think that's going to be, I'm not sure who went off, as Kafifi absolutely destroys the cones. Skipper's out of this one. The virtual safety car has been called out. Who retired though? I think Goo has been pushed out into the wall. I don't know how he's got more damage on that car. Just 3 wide just didn't end up working down there in the crossover. I think someone hit the wall on the left hand side as there's a bit of contact made. Bit argy-bargy on that first lap. Man and Donkey into the pit lane. This is clever. I think this is very, very clever. Guys making opportunity of the virtual safety car because you can go to the end on any tyres. I think we should be seeing... This is a very, very good call from people. Look at the back half of the grid. Pretty much everyone into the pit lane who, as the timing board has an absolute mare. You see, I think pretty much the guys who are at the front have been sort of hung up to dry a little bit. And that's a great strategy, isn't it? We're green and racing once again. I think I would have sort of ignored it, to be honest. Been in a bit of heat at the moment. But if you saw at the back, you know, one person pulls the trigger, everybody else follows. Russell's gone to the hards. In my opinion, it's a big no-no. Hard tyres do not work around here. They're not quick at all. Guys at the front, of course, all staying out now. These guys are actually at the front of it. Ends leading the way. Of course, he started last in the previous race, so it's going well for him at the moment. This is also the problem, though. People who have teammates, they've been lapped. As Jones and I think there's Baker going wheel to wheel. Baker goes down the inside. Can he squeeze him out? Not quite. They're still going to be wheel to wheel now as they run down towards the loop. Is that going to be Jones around the outside? That's a brilliant defence from Jones. I think making his RLH debut. Can Kappa now get alongside and get ahead of Baker? Not quite. Car's finding out the pit lane further back. And who's the head of the train? It's Malak Donkey. Malak Donkey leads the way. He's got a penalty though. Calais behind him though on a set of fresh soft compound tyres. See how his progress gets on. Yellow flags, a bit of a spin. I'm not sure who that is. I think it is Nicker, so it's not going well for our previous race winner. And Jones still under attack now. Baker and Kappa not too far behind. And sets the fastest lap of the race. He wants to try and sort of make best use of those soft tyres. He'll be hoping for a safety car later on in this race. As you fly through turn number 1, Jones still holding off that P2, but Kappa and Baker not far behind at all. And you can see Malak Donkey, the first driver to pit, 17 seconds off Goo. And the guys behind are actually a little bit spread out. We've managed to sort of spread ourselves out quite nicely around this track at the moment. Baker though, coming at Jones, he's going to go down the inside. He's already headed to get into the corner. What can Kappa do in this one? He had thought about having a move. Jones late enough on the brakes though to defend it. Composite losing the position to Billy Misu, pretty much in the same fashion as the guys further up the road. But this race, pretty much 2 races being run now. You can see Ends just setting fast lap after fast lap. He's now putting the hammer down. As always, Rick picks up a 5-second penalty for ignoring blue flag because we're not running ghosting anymore. As Kappa's trying to line up Jones, can't find a way past into the loop this time around. Can he get a better exit? Had a much better line coming out of the loop. I think DRS is enabled. Gets the power relatively nicely. Jones does pick up a 3-second time. That one did look close. As we now go down towards Stoke corner, he's going to be on the inside, he's just about going to be there, and as we go through Cops, he literally has got the high ground, he's got the inside line, but Jones is hanging it round there. He's managed to hang it around that, now switches to the inside. Can Jones keep ahead in this one? He does now. I think Kappa may be trying to set up a move here, trying to get a better exit on the run down the Hamilton straight. He's going to be close, he's looking to go round the outside. This is Leclerc and Verstappen-esque stuff, and he's managed to nip ahead. Composite and Baker swapping positions, and it is Kappa ahead as they go through Abbey. Turn 1 for the 6th time in this race. Baker's into the pit lane though. He's putting on a set of softs. He'll be going to the end of the race now. As we move on, what are we looking at? I think, well, penalties, man like Donkey. Calais could be in a really good position. I'm interested to see where Baker will filter out in this one, because they might be getting away with it, the guys at the top. Man like Donkey goes ahead of Baker. Will Calais? I think he is just about going to get ahead. I think guys who have teammates is not helping. Calais actually is going to be very close. Be very close between Baker and Calais, and Calais actually just about got ahead. Baker will have fresher tyres in this battle. You would have thought, you know, Baladonki, Calais will be gaining on these guys at the top. A little bit fresher tyres. Clean air not having to battle as much. As Mayfield will lock up as he's trying to reel in Russell. Baker on a set of fresh softs. He's got the pace over Calais. Go through Vale and Club. Just waiting for the strategy to unfold now. And Baker seems to be, let's have a look at his deployment level. He's got 75% of VRS, Calais only 27. Definitely advantage Baker, you would have thought. Bog Rossi gets a penalty for ignoring blue flags, and there's another penalty of Billy Misu there. As Jones and Billy Misu both into the pit lane. And Asmith and Russell have swapped positions. That's down at turn number 1. We're watching Baker though. He's got DRS, he's got ERS, and I think he's going to be going past and up into P8. Gets ahead of Calais to go down into Stoke corners. A minute. Yellow flags further back. Is that for Asmith? Asmith's off in the gravel. I think losing the rear and spinning to the right. Maybe a bit of contact. Not too sure. We can't make any assumptions. Bogrowski's losing position there to Always Rick. As a few guys getting past. But Jones and Billy Misu coming out the pit lane now. Behind man like Donkey, they're going to be behind Baker, behind Calais, and I think this top 3 could be very interesting. Ends in the pit lane though. Ends and Kappa both into the pits. So watching man like Donkey, he of course was the first guy to come into the pits. He pulled the trigger effectively for the rest of the field. He's where we've got to compare to the top 4, all now into pit lane. Gooping a penalty for 5 seconds, or picking up a penalty for spinning the pit lane. That's not what you want to be doing. Medium tyres for the guys at the front. I think man like Donkey could be running away with this one. I think he's going to call the strategy to perfection. He's going to get ahead of Kappa. Kappa looks to be the first one out the pit lane, just ahead of Ends. Ends maybe at a penalty, not too sure that it's a serve, but yeah, look at that. Man like Donkey well and truly out in front at the moment. Baker's going to get ahead. Where's Calais? A little bit further back. He's going to slot out in P4 in this race. Which is good considering he started in this one. Russell managed to get ahead of Goose, still stuck in the box. Ends got the freshest tyres, but a bit of work to do. Dropping down to 7. I think he did have a penalty, or he was just really held in a pit lane. He's lost position to Jones and Billy Misu, and it's quite a bit behind Kappa now. Kappa, with those fresh tyres, can he reel in and get past Baker and then get after man like Donkey? They've all got penalties in the front 3. Calais looks in a good position. Yellow flags in that first corner. There's a freeway battle going on. Asmith, Phil and Gu. Phil not quite managed to make up positions in this race like he did in the last. But still be getting good points. Can Phil get past Asmith now? Asmith covers the inside. Phil looking to go around the outside. Can he get past this one? Good move from Phil. Sweeps around the outside and he's now up into P13. Maybe looking to hunt after a point. A few guys ahead of him have penalties. But Clay needs to keep his foot to the floor, because there's chances for him in this race. No penalties so far for the Romanian driver. Billy Misu's not too far behind him now. Has much fresher tyres. Of course, the penalties for Billy Misu. He does need to be careful. Ends and Jones swap position. Jones trying to hang this one around the outside. Jones has been good at defending, but he sort of squeezed and pushed off a little bit there. Can Jones now go down the inside? No, not quite on this occasion. I think just sensibly thought he wasn't going to dive down the inside there. Good racecraft there from Joe. Haven't got penalties. It's 5 seconds for the top 3. It's 5 seconds for the top 3. Calais is within a shout of winning this race. It's going to be so close. It's 4.5 seconds as things stand. Oh no, I've got goosebumps. Where's the interval? There's the interval. We can see who's racing. Look how many drivers have picked up time penalties for speeding in the pit lane. That's at least sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think 2 of them maybe were for blue flag infringements. But Clay is within a shout of winning this race. It's going to go down to the wire, I am sure. But we'll have to, well, keep our fingers and toes crossed on this one. Again, there aren't too many battles out on track. And the ones that are, it's just a bit of a ERS-DRS battle at the moment. Freezing time penalty for Baker. 2 more laps to go in this one. We've started the penultimate lap. We're going to have a look at the... we're going to keep it actually on the... I'm just pressing the wrong buttons now. To the gap to the leader. It's 4.3. The top 3 all have penalties in this one. Billy Misu has a penalty behind. Calais needs to not lose. 4 tenths is what he's got not to lose. It's going to be so close on the final lap of this race. Of course, he's racing against Maladonki. The top 3 all have the same time penalty. It's going down to the wire. Calais has gone onto the soft tyres. He's making that strategy work from the safety car, but the gap is so close at the moment. And Billy Misu not close enough. He's got penalties of his own. He will not be, in my opinion, on the podium. I don't think he will be. It's going to be very, very close. The gap is 4.6 seconds. Keep your tyres off the dirt, mate. You can do this. I'm going to be following Calais in these last couple of laps. I don't think we're seeing any really battles over the last lap or so. Baker is close to Maladonki and we'll see if he can get past down the main straight. The gap is 4.8. It's 4.7. Maladonki's not at the best of exits. Or has he? He's now using overtake to full extent. Will Baker send this one to try and go for the win? Phil sets the fastest lap of the race on the penultimate lap of the race. The gap is 4.9. The gap is 4.9. It's now 5 seconds. It's going to be so close. Maladonki compromised himself a little bit. He's going a little bit slowly. Can Calais capitalise on this further behind? He's got a nice clean run through. He's now 4.9. He's 4.9. Can he get a good exit? Yes, he can. The gap is coming. He's done it. He's done it. 200ths of a second. Calais takes the win over Maladonki. What an end to this Grand Prix. Penalties deciding this one. And the championship leader has been thwarted by the Romanian driver who takes his first win in RLH. There were close gaps further behind, but Calais has done it. Maladonki under threat in that final corner. Oh my gosh. Maladonki under threat from Baker behind, had to go a little bit defensive, and Calais has taken the victory here at Silverstone. He did what he needed to do. He made the right strategy call, didn't get any time penalties, and he takes to the top step, representing the Romanian flag. He hoists the trophy and he'll be spraying the champagne. And I missed his first podium in Vietnam after commentating pretty much all the C6 races, so I'm glad I managed to catch this one. Oh, I think he had the best strategy, starting on the mediums, moving on to the softs. The soft can do the whole race, and he made it count, beating, well, the C3 driver. I think he won a race this year, Maladonki as well. I think he won in Spain. Beating a C3 race winner, Calais is on the top step. Maladonki in P2. Kappa rounds off the podium in third. Great drive from Kappa, it must be said, up from 11th. Same goes to Baker, Billy Misu in composite. Our 57th, Russell in 8th, Jones in 9th. First points in RLH. Always Rick in 10th, Fifi 11th, Phil up 2 in 12th, Bogrossi in 13th, Asmith 14th, Nika 15th, Goot in 17th, and the only retirement is Skipper down in P17. But a very interesting round. Of course, we race next week, or what I believe is Kota, or in US of A for the short race. We've got F2 racing on Friday. That will be at Spa-Francorchamps in the Ardennes Forest. I'll be commentating that, I think maybe along with Calais, so we might get to talk to our race winner on stream. So make sure to check in Friday. The F2 racing has been brilliant so far this season. A lot of action, the odd incident or two which definitely spices things up. So make sure to well, tune on Friday and subscribe to RLH as well, because we're really good. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you